Hey, Taylor Rapp here from the LA Rams. Shout out to Steve Taylor, the real sports guy, and the honorary Ram. When Steve's talk sports, you better listen. Thanks, Steve from the Rams, for your continued support and love.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Keeping It Real Sports.
Yes, sir. Rock Yassin, Keeping It Real Sports.
Appreciate you, brother. All right,
man. I would Prince Bell be rocking with Keeping It Real Sports, and we gonna be on these. We gonna be on a lot of times. I love the platform. Check in. It's the new wave. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that good stuff.
Come on. I told you I got you. Wanna talk about his game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. Save your boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is, the real sports guy in the sand. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, gon' have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, and it's over. OVA, game over, they don't play. From the fourth quarter to the ninth inning, NASCAR wheels keep spinning. To the 18th hole, he's still in control. Guy on the go. Coach never missing the play, cause he know the deal. This keeping it real. Sports. Come on. Keeping it real. Yeah. Let's go.
Go indeed. It's the Thursday edition of Keeping It Real Sports. I am your boy, the real sports guy, and boy, do I have a big one planned for you today. But before we even get started, make sure that I know you watch, and I know you religiously watch, but make sure you like and you subscribe, you click. See, all of that goes toward the algorithms, that goes toward all of that good stuff, but just like and subscribe and tell a friend to bring a friend. You know, I got a big show planned for you today, man. We're going to talk college football. I'm going to go inside of the college football poll, and I'm going to give you the Keeping It Real Sports poll and how this thing really should have played out. But, you know, it is what it is. Baseball crowned a new champion. We'll talk about that and get into all of that and go back and look at what happened and how we got there, all that good stuff. James Harden got his wish, and we'll get into that, and we'll talk all NBA stuff. We'll talk with Dale Parker. I'll do that about 7:15. And it's football. So we've got Thursday night football. And then the trade deadline has come and gone. I give you all of that. So I've got a big show planned for you. And well, like I do, I'm going to tell you what's hot off the Keeping It Real Sports. That man again, it is the cheater, the man known as the sign stealer, and this thing keeps getting larger and larger. People, as I start to investigate it more daily, this thing is coming out more by the hour. We don't know what this guy's deal is, but what we do know is that the man Connor Stallions has been spotted on sidelines for other teams in other teams' apparel. Interestingly enough, Connor Stallions spotted at the Central Michigan game. Now, I'm finding out that he has purchased tickets to over 35 games that he's gone to. He's paid for these videos that are being distributed. And is it a big deal? Well, hell yeah, it's a big deal because, you know, as you go back and you look at the actual games, when you look at the Michigan defense in the Ohio State game in particular, how the entire defense looked at the Ohio State's defensive staff, the offensive staff got the signal and then turned around and got into their stance to be able to make the play. Yeah, it makes a big deal. Why is it such a big deal? Because no one else is doing it. I mean, if it's not such a big deal, why are you going to these lengths to be able to conceal what you're doing? You know, it's not right. It's not fair. It's downright cheating. It's come to the point where now the coaches, the Big Ten coaches on their coaches meeting asked Jim Harbaugh to step aside so they can speak freely about the consequences that needs to happen to the Michigan Wolverine program. So, they're cheating, man. And so we have to take that into consideration. Yeah, it's a big deal, but the question is, what's his deal? And should Michigan even be allowed to participate in the playoffs, even if it is eligible? Well, that remains to be seen. We will find out. But this thing is real, and we're going to stay on top of it. I tell you what else I stayed on top of is college football. And right now, I have college football's new poll, how this thing should have shaken out. Let's look at it. And as we look at it, this is how the initial college football rankings played out. This is what we saw. We saw the number one team in the country be the Ohio State Buckeyes. We saw the Georgia Bulldogs come in at number 2. The cheaters, known as the Michigan Wolverines, they are coming in as 3, or should we call them the Connor Stallions? I like that one better. Number 4 is the Florida State Seminoles. That would be your top 4 if the season ended today. Washington Huskies at 5. We've got Oregon at 6. At 7, we've got Texas, Alabama at 8. OU, that would be Oklahoma at 9. And then Ole Miss rounding out the top 10. Well, people, I've given you the Real Sports, keeping it Real Sports poll all year. Let's start with who I have as the number 10 team in the country. And that would be the team that I had on upset alert just a week ago, the Oklahoma Sooners. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel, they're starting to find the recipe to kind of contain you, but you can't take away the defense being employed by Brent Venables and company. I have them number 10 this week. Number 9 I have is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They only had a complete victory last week, probably the most complete victory in all of college football last week, as they hung 58 on its opponent last week. Notre Dame trending upwards. Also trending upwards, the number 8 team in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide. You can't deny what Nick Saban and company has done. You just can't deny it. Also, the team that has stepped up to the plate and got the job done, starting redshirt freshman quarterback in for Quinn Ewers. Texas, they showed up and they showed out. So that would be my top 4 teams right there on the bottom. Now, coming in as the first team out would be the Florida State Seminoles. Yeah, I know that everyone has them in the top 4. I know that the College Football Playoff Committee have them at number 4, but there's a lot of question marks for them. Therefore, there's not a lot of room for error for the Florida State Seminoles. I've seen it. I've noticed it. I've got them at number 6. At number 5, as the second team, right out will be Oregon. I had the Oregon Ducks sitting at number 5, just outside of the top 10. They probably are playing the best football in the Pac-12 conference. I'll get more into that in a little bit. That brings me to my number 4 team, and the first team in my playoffs, if the playoffs were to start, would be the Washington Huskies. Why? Well, did you see Michael Penix Jr. last week throw a 92-yard touchdown pass? Well, I did. And I also saw that his receivers are starting to get healthy. They're starting to trend upward. Man, I like Washington at number 4. At number 3, the Connor Stallions and the Michigan Wolverines. Why? Well, we have to take everything into account when we start to look at this. Not just performance like we looked at in the past. We have to look at your strength of schedule and who you played. Well, we're still waiting on that. I think they scheduled the Fulton Tigers for Saturday. That's the point that I'm getting at. We've got Michigan at number 3. Number 2 team, I have the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Well, why, Steve? They have the 2 most impressive victories against top 10 teams. Yeah, but again, you go back to what I said. You got to be the man, you have to beat the man. Georgia has been the man. They have to be definitely taken into account for how well that they played. The Georgia Bulldogs really turned it around offensively by losing their top player who accounted for 35% of their offense, and they still found a way to hang 43 on Florida. So Georgia is really the number one team in the country, and if I had my playoff matchup today, this is how it would look. It will be number one, Georgia against number 4, Washington, and Ohio State, Michigan duking it out, and the two teams first out will be Oregon and Florida State. That's how I see it. Last week, I had several teams on upset alert. Oklahoma, as soon as I had on upset alert, well, we saw what happened with them. I'm going to give you two teams that we're going to put on upset alert. So here we go. Upset alert. UCLA. Well, Steve, they're playing Arizona. Why would you say that? Well, Arizona has only played 5 top 10 teams already in this season in a row. The last 5 weeks, Arizona trending upward. I like Arizona this week. Upset alert. Pay attention to UCLA and the other upset alert. Washington Huskies. UCLA. USC. Why? Because Washington has a propensity to be had in the secondary, and USC can score. One thing they can do. Speaking of scoring, was the race for October. We have crowned a new World Series champion, the Texas Rangers. Let's talk about it. Over the Texas Rangers won their first World Series championship by defeating the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-1. Corey Seager wins his second World Series MVP. Eovaldi outlasts Zach Gallen, who had a great start. Gallen actually had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. The Rangers, I call them the Road Warriors. They've done something that no other team has ever done. They won 11, let me say that again, 11 road games in this here series. Got to get tip cap to Bruce Bochy. Bruce Bochy comes back from the disabled list literally and reconstructs that team all the way to a world championship. But Corey Seager, he was the man on a miss. He was the man that had it going on. Hey, look, let's go back and look at how all of this started with probably the best game of the series. With game 1, some of the highlights, how we saw it right here on Keeping It Real Sports. Game 1 of the World Series features Zach Gallen against Nathan Eovaldi. It all starts off with Evan Carter's RBI double that plates a run. Texas leads it 1-0 right off the top. The man, the myth known as Adolis Garcia, more on him later on, he drives in Texas' second run with an RBI single. Texas up 2-0. That takes us to the bottom of the 3rd, and Corbin Carroll's 2-run triple. After the Diamondbacks started to get more aggressive at the plate, in particular, the batters 7, 8, and 9 setting the table for Corbin Carroll and his heroics. But the thing of the night was the pressure that they continued to put on the Texas defense as they stole 4 bases, the most since 1908. Very aggressive. Also aggressive was Tommy Pham's. Bam! He goes deep. Tommy Pham's solo shot was exit velocity was 102 miles an hour. This thing was a rocket as it got up out of there, traveling 419 feet. Boy, oh boy, when they hit the ball, they do it well. Kettle Marte, okay, he goes double. And Arizona's up 5-3, and they hold that lead at the top of the fifth, and the Diamondbacks are off and running. Ginkel comes in, and he escapes a jam late in the eighth inning, and the Diamondbacks lead it 5-3 going into the ninth. But the ninth inning is where the theatrics come to play. Starting with that man, Garcia. Watch this grab as he just leaps up and he robs Arizona of a possible run right there, keeping the game in striking distance. Speaking of striking distance, Corey Seager strikes to tie the game at 5 at the bottom of the ninth, giving the Rangers life. And Garcia ends it in the 11th with the walk-off shot, his 8th home run in this postseason. Texas 6, Arizona 5. Texas Rangers, they win their first World Series championship. Man, let's talk a little basketball. As we get into the season, well, we've talked a lot of hoops, and this was one of our preseason wait and sees. We kind of wanted to see what would actually happen with James Harden and how it would come down. Well, it's come down. James Harden gets his wish. He's traded to the Clippers for picks and players, and I want to go inside of all of this. I cannot wait to hear what my man Dale Parker has to say about this one. Dale, first off, I want to welcome you back in, man. I appreciate you taking the time out to kind of break this thing down and talk a little hoops with me.
Hey, Steve, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, most definitely, man. So, man, okay, man, help me make this thing make sense, man. Please help me make this make sense.
I've been trying to make sense of it ever since the trade was announced earlier this week, a couple of days ago. And, you know, it looks like they got, well, it don't look like they have 4 All-Star, 4 Hall of Famers on that team that are going to be on the floor at the same time trying to share one basketball. And you got 2 guys in Russell Westbrook and James Harden who are both ball dominant. Now, they both, you know, have led the league in assists. You know, Russ is a triple-double, you know, could get a triple-double at any point. But I just don't see how this is going to work. You got Zubac playing the 5, and your bench is depleted with all the guys that they gave up. And you know James Harden is not a big-time player when it comes to the playoffs. So I guess I'm mind-boggled.
You and me both. So I guess that gets me to my question. Where does that leave the Sixers and the Clippers?
You know, I think the Sixers picked up a lot of good role players, you know, coming over with Marquise Morris, Nicholas Batum, you know, and this will give Tyrese Maxey the time to show what he can do. You know, you see glimmers of it last year and the year before, but he was always playing in the shadow of James Harden. You know, but now with him getting a chance to start, you know, be the number 2 option on that team behind Joel Embiid, you know, you see what he's doing already. He's averaging 30, you know, right out the gate, you know. So I think that Tyrese Maxey is going to show that, hey, I am big time. I am an all-star. I can be all NBA. So let's roll the ball out here and let's get it on.
We're talking all NBA with Dale Parker. And so, you know, Dale, you know, I gotta ask you, you know, what do you think? You know, early returns.
Early returns are good, except for the starts. They get off to a slow start and they fall behind. They fell behind 19 last night in the first quarter to the Clippers, and even down 16 in the third. You know, Clippers were on a back-to-back, so maybe they were a little tired. You know, and the legs got a little tired because you could see some of the shots. Kawhi was shooting the threes late in the third and in the fourth quarter were coming up short, but they held on, was able to hold off, and stave off Paul George's 6 threes that he made in the game. But they got to get out the gates, running instead of coming out playing slow basketball. Yeah, and that's just what it is, because everybody's going to come out, they want to punch them in the mouth right off the bat. And you got to be ready to take that punch, because you ain't going to keep coming back from 19 points down with a 38-year-old LeBron James playing 35 to 38 to 40 minutes a game.
He played 40. He played 43 last night.
Yeah, and that's too many. That's too many.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you can't do it, but in the long run,
you don't do that now.
Right.
You don't want to do that now. A team that got a fast start. Boston Celtics. Are you buying?
I've rooted for Boston the past couple years in the playoffs, and I'm still not sold yet, because the thing that I don't like about Boston is they get in the playoffs and they play too much one-on-one. Jason Tatum becomes ball dominant, which then takes Jaylen Brown out of his game, and those are your two go-to guys. So then when Tatum is out there, dancing around with the ball and shooting, and then once Jaylen Brown finally gets the ball, he's going to try to dance with it. And he can't dribble. So turnover, is going to happen. So I'm not sold yet. 155 is a lot of points to put up, because they went out there and they blasted Indiana last night.
Yeah, they did. A team, man, that hasn't gotten the start that I expected, but my gosh, we saw the potential when Dame time came to fruition, but they are still, in my eyes, the team to beat. Dale Parker. Man, another team, that has a lot to my heart has been the start that Victor Wembanyama has had, and in particular fourth quarters that this kid has had, man. I don't know if you realize this kid is shooting 80% in fourth quarters from the field. This is the kind of output that I like from this guy. He's blocking shots. He's running the floor. He's affecting the game. I mean, I've actually seen plays run for this kid in the fourth quarters, man. Give me your early returns on Victor Wembanyama.
Hey, playing big-time ball, like you said, shooting 80% in the fourth quarter, that's when the game is on the line, Mm-hmm. Remember, he got off to a slow start in the first game of the season, got in early foul trouble, but came back in the fourth quarter with 5 fouls, scored 9 points, had a couple blocks, and he continues to show that I'm not a fluke. I am the guy that everybody thought I was going to be. And once you guys get a real true point guard that knows, and like you said, pop star running some plays for him and going to get him the ball in the right spots, hey, he's going to be hard to handle. I predict you guys are going to be in the playoffs, as a 9 or 10 seed. So you're going to be in the play-in tournament to make it, to get a chance to get in. And I think with the right matchup, you guys can win and actually get into the tournament.
But Dale Parker, when it's all said and done, this is what I see, man. I don't see anything else, man. When meaningful basketball is being played, I believe that is going to be our finals. That preview that we're going to see is, we got people chiming in saying, man, that Victor's going to be a bona fide star. I tend to agree with you, Jay Rollo. I definitely agree with you. Hey man, can you stick around doing a little NFL with me?
Sure.
Man, a little bit of NFL here, man. As a lot has gone on, man. We had the NBA upstage the actual NFL in trade deadline talk, man. It was kind of unprecedented, so to speak. But as we go back and we look at some of the deals that went down, man, your thoughts, man, winners and losers in the trade deadline.
Definite winner are the 49ers. Wow. The 49ers go out and sign Chase Young, which I honestly wish my Miami Dolphins had it done, because as I've said previously, they're a little light on the defensive line. The Bears signing Montez Sweat.
What the hell was that?
I don't understand that at all. You need wide receivers. You need somebody to throw the ball to, and you go out and you trade for Montez Sweat. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Kevin Byard going to Philly is going to help you,
Big.
Yeah, significantly going to help them on the defensive end. And, as much as I hate to say it, Rasul Douglas is going to be a big pickup for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, he slid under the radar. And I tell you this, man, what Donovan Peoples-Jones does for the Detroit Lions is he gives them a big body that's not afraid to go over the middle, other than Laporte, because you saw Monday night that those wide receivers have the propensity to want to drop the football when it comes across the middle. I'm talking about Josh Reynolds in particular. They want guys that's going to corral that football. Marvin Harrison, we don't know what the hell. Marvin Jones Jr., we don't know what the hell is going on with him. So, man, I thought that was a great under-the-wire pickup. Surprisingly, Josh McDaniels, and I think he is fired more so by what Devontae Adams didn't say. Man, your thoughts on that and the way this thing is turning out?
Yeah, he lost the team. Josh McDaniels is a great offensive coordinator, but he's shown that he's not the leader of men that you need in the head coaching position. You need a leader of men. You don't need some guy that's coming in here just because he came off the Bill Belichick tree and he's going to lay down the rules and the law. It doesn't work that way with today's players, and they definitely look at you and like, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done for the league lately as a head coach? And the answer to both of those questions are nothing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised, and the Raiders are a dumpster fire right now. I think Mark Davis is more concerned about the Las Vegas Aces of the WNBA than he is about the Raiders in the NFL.
That's fair. Dale Parker, before the season, man, I look at the way that the league is gone. Every year, there are 6 teams that made the playoffs the year before that's not going to make the playoffs the next year.
Okay.
So with that said, at the beginning of the season, I did a preview at teams that I predicted that wouldn't make the playoffs this year. And so let's look at the 6 teams that I picked, and some of them that's trending right and some of them that's trending wrong. The ones that I had wrong was, that was the question going in. Could the Chiefs miss the playoffs? Well, we see that they're not going to miss the playoffs. Maybe. But the Seattle Seahawks is the one that I kind of had wrong, Dale Parker. They seem to have figured this thing out, and they seem to be trending upwardly. What I didn't get wrong was the New York Giants. And starting to look now like Tampa Bay. And on a hot take that I had, the LA Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers got a big game this weekend, Monday night actually, against the Jets, and it's going to speak volumes as to, what could happen the rest of the season. If they can't beat the Jets, they really put themselves on that trend of not making the playoffs.
Yeah. Vikings is another team, man, that is trending upward now, but it remains to be seen without a quarterback. This thing could bottom out pretty fast. And then the other team that I said was the New England Patriots. Yeah.
Sad to see what happened to Kirk Cousins. He's a great guy, and he's a great leader on that team. He doesn't always, show it on the field in his play, but he's a great leader, great guy. They love that guy. So it was sad to see him tear his Achilles on a non-contact play.
Yeah, definitely. Dale Parker, that gets us Thursday Night Football. Hey, man, who you got, man? Will Levis makes his second NFL start. Seemed like he had some kind of idea, and he had a rapport with D Hop.
Yes, throw it down the field, throw it to D Hop. He's going to go out and get it. What concerns me in this game is Pittsburgh. I saw a stat today. Pittsburgh has been they're 776 minus 776 in total yards compared to what they've given up, and which is worst in the league. And but at the same time, it's hard to see Tomlin losing 2 straight games at home, losing to a rookie quarterback. They got a little film on him. I think they're going to take the big plays away from him and make him try to throw the ball underneath. So I'm going with the Steelers on it.
Ooh. Okay. Hey man, look here. One thing I will say is Pittsburgh will Mike Tomlin their way to win, and you just don't see it, and I think that'll be the case tonight, even though, I like what the young quarterback has going on for this one. I just don't see it, man. I just think it'll be too much Pittsburgh. Dale Parker, before I let you get out of here and I get out of here, hey man, melancholy. And just your thoughts on the man known as the General, Robert Montgomery Knight.
Man, sad to see, to hear the news that Bobby Knight passed yesterday. What can you say about him? Last guy to lead an undefeated team, in the NCAA to a championship. He won as a player at the Ohio State University. Olympic gold medal coach.
Yep.
So great between the lines. He had his problems. We know about the chair throwing incidents and getting in referees' faces and players' faces, but he was definitely an ambassador for the game, and he put his stamp on the game early on. And hate to see that he's gone, but he's in a better place. Prayers go out to his family.
Yeah, definitely. But the greatest quote that Bob Knight ever left us was, "One day I know this life shall pass. I'll have them bury me upside down so my critics can kiss my ass." And on that note, man, we're going to tell you, like and subscribe, man, to make sure you like and subscribe. Look, Saturday, I got Thrive or Survive. I'm going to give you NFL teams, and I'm going to tell you, are they really surviving, thriving, or are they surviving? We're going to tell you that. I'm going to give you the power rankings for this week, give you the pick six, and then the college pick 'em. So I got 3, man, hot takes for you for this week. And then, of course, I got this one thing, man, going on with boxing right now, man. I don't know if you saw the Francis Ngannou thing, but you might want to tune in Saturday, because I got a lot to say about what transpired there. But again, make sure that you like, subscribe, man. Tell me what you want to hear, man. I'll definitely get that imprinted in the show. And for my main man, Dale Parker, I am the Real Sports Guy. Until Saturday morning, I wish you love and peace. Chuck them deuces.
Come on. Told you I got you. Wanna talk about his game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. Safe boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is, the Real Sports Guy in the sand. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, gon' have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, and it's over. OVA.